Sagittarius, hope you're all good. Welcome to Vedic Tarot. We're going to be going over week commencing the 27th of October. And this will be essentially your Vedic Astrology reading first, and then we're going to go into the Tarot just for extra clarification and see what Spirit has for you. So let's begin. Also, if you could like, share, subscribe, that would greatly help my work and also help the channel. And then I can start investing into it once we actually get more followers and it all starts to pick up. But no, thank you for your time. So basically, Sagittarius, let's crack on. So Moon is essentially starting here in the Lagna sign of Sagittarius. It's quite an intense placement, especially. So essentially, the first house. Okay, yeah. I think this is going to be a complete 360 in your life. Complete 360 in your life. So basically, what we'll see here is a complete change in ego. Not saying that you have got ego, but your psyche, the way that you approach life, certain ethical processes, spiritual processes, religious processes, anything like that. What you might find is, you go from meat eater to vegan. You go from Muslim to Christian. You go from atheist to whatever, spiritual. Who knows? So you're going to completely transform. This is going to be a complete 360 in your life. You might change political views. You might change views on certain ways that if you have got kids to like raise your kids, like educational kind of views, something like that. So you might be a drinker and now you're not. You just give it up. Just hey, I don't really want to do it this week for some reason. So who knows? Who knows? But that's very interesting. Anyway, tomorrow, essentially, what's going to happen is so. Okay, so it's really interesting here. So Mars is the Lord of the 12th house, right? Now, so anything to do with expenses, spirituality, liberation, moksha, what we call, like that's Mars that governs that. And what we see here is that you're really going to get into dharma, we call it in Sanskrit. So dharma is your duty, the way that you, the positive influence that you have on the surroundings and your world around you, philanthropy, spirituality, charity, giving, donating, all of these things you will also see from tomorrow onwards. Now, I'm sure that you're a wonderful, giving, and kind soul as well. So, but all we'll see is just that being just amplified even more so. So it's a very good time, especially like it's a very good karmic time as well for my wonderful Sagittarius risings. Now, what we see though is that because you have Jupiter who rules the 12th house, within its own house, there can be extra expenses on things such as travel. That can be very super sudden. So say, for example, oh no, I've got to get a train ticket because one of my friends is ill, God forbid. Or, oh no, I need to fly back to the UK because a family member's ill or something like that. So just be mindful of that. And there could be very super sudden expenses in relation to that. So, or it could even be your kids traveling actually. And funnily enough, if it is going to be your kids traveling, that's going to be more around kind of like the positive and good reasons. So such that surprise field trip, it's £50 per child, or oh okay, like I know I can't really think of another example, but something like that essentially could come about. But that will only be for good reasons. So if that is related to your children, not saying it's not going to be negative reasons if it's not, but those are just the first kind of examples I could think of really. Because sudden travel as an adult, it's usually more of an inconvenience than for children, I imagine. So there we have it. Now Moon enters into the second house, kind of midweek. So the 8th house lord in the second house. So the 8th house is basically about it's like investments, income, banks, savings, all of that kind of thing. Like that are very calculated. This isn't like speculative kind of gains or anything like that, but it is a very good time where your bank balance increases. The maturity of your income will essentially occur. But this won't be through any kind of like speculative gains like stock, shares, Bitcoin, any of that. It won't be any of that at all. This is more going to be around like, say, for example, you had a student loan account and now or a help to buy ISA, or you had some sort of bond or interest rate increase, something like that. So it's going to be, that's where you're going to find your gains. They won't be speculative at all. But it's a really great placement for your family as well, because it's receiving the aspect of Jupiter. So it's going to be expansion in family wealth, expansion in family overall. Maybe children in this time. But very, very, expansion in the home when it comes to sort of family life. So very, very good. Very, very good. And then also what you'll find, I think, like, what I can see here is, communication, negotiation skills are going to go up. The moon here in this house of communication is going to make your speech beautiful, really, really eloquent. You're going to be very, very good because, like, yeah, this placement's fantastic. And then what we see on the 31st on Halloween is the moon enters into Aquarius, the third house. So this is an Upchaya house, okay? So it's not the most ideal placement for sort of longevity and longevity of health, etc. So you might want to be slightly careful of that, because what we see is the eighth house lord is eighth from itself. So meaning that because the moon and Rahu are together, you're not going to be thinking clearly. Everyone's got the same reading pretty much. Whenever you've got the moon and Rahu in any house, it's just not great. The moon is a very kind of emotional, watery, flowy planet. And then Rahu is very malefic and can cause disruption to that. So that's just one thing to be mindful for. Very, very mindful of. So don't say big statements. I'm not saying that you're rude at all, Sagittarius, but just be careful about what you say and who you say it to. Don't say anything in the workplace that can be kind of like misinterpreted as crude. Don't say anything either around sort of on social media. I just need some water. Sorry. Oh, my throat is killing me. So don't say anything on like social media or any kind of postings that could be misinterpreted. Nothing political, like nothing like that. Just keep it kind of close to your chest, and then it'll all hopefully be okay. I'm sure it will be. You'll be absolutely fine, because like if you do something like DM that random chick or an ex or something like that, it is likely to just blow up in your face. So just be careful. No fights with your siblings either. If your siblings want to create a fight or something, just you're right. You are right. I'm not getting into this. The one good thing though is that with this placement is what you'll see is that anyone that is suffering from any kind of like long-term health issues or anything in this kind of nature, you'll be absolutely fine. You'll see things getting a lot better, a lot kind of more swift recoveries, etc. So yeah, overall a fantastic week. A week of kind of like reinventing yourself as well. So just really, really good. So now we'll go to the tarot and we'll see what the cards have to say to you. Ooh, one card, everyone knows the rules. And let's see what we've got here. So I'm not seeing the card. Okay, the Tower. Now, that's not necessarily a bad card. Usually everyone's like, it's the worst card in the deck. Yeah, for some things. But in the context of this reading, I think all that the Tower represents is reinvention. Starting from scratch, blank slate. Really, really like reinventing yourself in a way which is far more actually conducive for your long-term vision, your long-term goals. But like if you're single, this is going to be what's going to be attracting your new partner in. I'm vegetarian myself. Would I prefer it if I dated someone that was vegetarian or vegan? 100%, of course I would. Would I prefer it if I dated someone that was spiritual? Of course I would. And it's the same with Sagittarius here. So perhaps they're changing themselves to be more in alignment with what it is that they want to attract into their lives, whether it be love, professional life, family life, higher education, all that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, Sagittarius, overall, that's a fantastic reading. Have an amazing week ahead. Please do like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next reading. Take care. Bye-bye.